As of January 1st, 2023, the following things will go into effect, and people need to be aware of this. It abolishes cash bail for almost every offense. This includes, but isn't limited to, kidnapping, armed robbery, second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, aggravated DUI, threatening a public official, and aggravated fleeing and eluding. Offenders released on electronic monitoring have to be in violation for 48 hours before law enforcement can act. They could almost drive to Alaska before we can even look for them. It denies victims their constitutional rights. And keep this in mind, businesses and homeowners. Officers will no longer be able to remove trespassers from your residence or your businesses. Someone could decide to live in your shed, and all we can do is give them a ticket. You have to decide what level of force is required to remove them.
Peace, family. Peace, meaning positive energy always creates elevation. And so with that being said, man, as you can see, man, today we're going to be talking about what is exactly going on in Chicago with the new laws that they're going to be implementing starting January 1st, 2023, okay? And so I know a lot of you have seen me speak about this live on my page, man, but for those of you who haven't, I want to get back to this and I want to reiterate on it because, see, a lot of things that he said in this video is, to me, the least things that we have to worry about, because this video that I actually just showed is not even the icing on the cake, okay? It's not even the icing on the cake, because we have to worry about all the drug-induced homicides that they're going to be pushing along with this as well, okay? All of the people that's going to be getting away with second-degree, homicide as well, right? And so you have to understand, when you're talking about things like second-degree homicide, so on and so forth, you have to go into the thought process of family disputes, okay, between a mother and a father, where things can potentially become violent, all right? And it could turn out to where, the violent incident turns into a situation where, a person ends up transitioning from that. You understand what I'm saying? And because of that, it's no repercussions behind it, because that person who was caused to transition throughout the violent situation will basically get not at least in the beginning, because we have to understand that they're still going to have to go to court for these type of things, but there's a chance that they won't have to sit in jail waiting on that court date. They're going to be free and released from the get-go, okay? They won't even sit in the cell for like 5 minutes. So we all know that this is going to cause a ripple effect for those people who seek revenge for situations like that, because in an incident like that, that would be considered second-degree homicide, okay? And that's because it was not a premeditated process involved with that, all right? And so I say this is the things that we have to be aware of, because small things like that turns into a ripple effect, all right? And I say this, that they're doing this in Chicago because they want to implement martial law, okay? If they can't depend on people in Chicago to do anything, they can depend on them to invoke violence. Let's be real, okay? They've already manipulated the youth by telling them that Chicago was Chirac, okay? And so by them manipulating the youth and making them feel like they had to furthermore represent it and make the name stand up to what they're calling it. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, they know, and one thing you have to understand is when you're dealing with Chicago and the violence, it's all propaganda, because a lot of natives that's from Chicago will tell you that they don't see a lot of the violence that is being portrayed on the media. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there is no violence going on in Chicago, but it's just not to the extent of what they would want you to believe, all right? So it's all propaganda. It's all hyped up because they have a plan for Chicago, and I truly believe that that's to enforce martial law, all right? They're going to make Chicago puppets, or they're going to make an example out of Chicago. It's going to start in Chicago. Okay, they're going to start to say that the violence is getting out of hand in Chicago. They can't deal with it, so on and so forth. And they're going to have to bring the military in and just start yanking people out of their homes, and locking them up. But I want the people that's from there to become aware of what's going on in order to avoid it. All right. So the second thing that we have to worry about, a lot of these drugs that's being issued out in the streets, okay, it's going to become a tap on the wrist if you get caught with a certain amount of it. Okay, if you don't get caught with too much of it, then it's going to be nothing but like a ticket. Okay, which is basically less than a traffic stop. It becomes a violation at that point. It becomes less than a traffic violation at that point. But I want you guys to grasp what is exactly going on when they're telling you that drug-induced homicides is going to be a slap on the wrist. You need to understand what is really going on. I keep telling you guys that a lot of people are transitioning already due to drug-induced homicides, all right? And so this has already been tried and tested. When you see a lot of people transitioning for what they would say is natural causes, I want you to understand that this is not natural causes, okay? This has already been implemented. You have to understand that there's agents everywhere you go. A lot of people that you would consider your big homies, so on and so forth, they not your big homie. These are the same people that's getting caught unbeknownst to you, and they running back and they telling, okay, because they afraid to do the time. And that's fact. They're not telling you that they get caught, so they get hit with and this goes on without even putting this situation into effect. I'm just saying this is what goes on every day in the hood. You talking to somebody that's actually from the hood. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of them get caught and they don't tell you that they get caught, and in turn they end up working for the police or law enforcement. You understand what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is that I've sat back and I've watched a lot of people transition from drug-induced homicides and from asthma attacks. It's been a very popular thing lately. You understand what I'm saying? And so since they know that this it can work this way, you understand what I'm saying? I believe that they want to be able to, because they know that they got people in place, getting the situation done for them. I believe that they, this is a way to protect them in terms of preventing them from having to do time behind what they're putting into place. Okay. And I can guarantee you 2003, man, we're going to see so much more, so many more drug-induced homicides. I'm talking about overdoses, heart attacks, asthma attacks, so on and so forth, because I spoke to you guys on several occasions and I told you that they are targeting to the drugs. Okay? And it all has to do with OH. We know what's going on when it comes to your organs and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? It has to do with that. You have to do your research, people. Understand that. Do your research when it comes to how much the liver costs, how much the heart costs, how much a pint of blood costs. You need to be doing your research and your homework in terms of why this is taking place. Okay, it's bigger than what you think. It's bigger than them saying that they want to create a purge. You understand what I'm saying? It's way bigger than that. Okay, what they're doing is they're purging on specific communities, because I guarantee you this is not going to happen in the upper echelons of communities. They're going to do this in certain communities that they feel like are not benefiting society, for a lack of better words. Okay, this is what they're going to do. They're going to implement these type of laws in every community that they feel like is not implementing society, and they want to basically clean those areas up without having to drive them to other neighborhoods and, for lack of better words, infect that neighborhood as well. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be aware, because to be aware is literally to be alive. You understand what I'm saying? This is nothing happens by chance, okay? I don't believe in coincidences, because I don't believe that anything happens by coincidence, especially when it comes to population. And when I say this, we have to understand that, when I say targeting certain communities, not every, I'm not just talking about urban communities as well. We have to think outside of those urban communities as well, because there's a lot of people in other ethnic backgrounds that have got caught up into the traps that's been laid. You understand what I'm saying? In terms of the war on drugs and things like that. People have been caught up. Other ethnic backgrounds have been caught up, and the elites, the powers that be, they're looking at them like they hold no weight as well. You understand what I'm saying? They're in the way, and they need to be moved out the way as well. So, but this is majority going to be for the communities that are lower in poverty. You understand what I'm saying? Because we all know when it comes to low poverty neighborhood, what's majority in what people are majority in lower poverty neighborhoods. Let's be for real. You see what I'm saying? So you guys have to wake up and start to see the bigger picture of things, okay? They want to, everything is strategic. They want to start raising the violence rate in all of these cities, okay? And they're only using Chicago as they're going to be a part of the testing. They're rats, okay? They're the rats that get tested to see how everything plays off, because they know that if anybody is going to fall into it, it's going to be Chicago, because most of the people out there in Chicago, and this is to say or speak down on that community because I'm from the area. You understand what I'm saying? But I want you to understand that most of the people in Chicago are already lost in terms of the way they view society. You see what I'm saying? They're lost in terms of the way they view society already. So they looking at them like, what does it matter? What does it matter? You need to start understanding that the people that you put your trust in and your faith in to protect you, keep you safe, and be upstanding people in the community in terms of doing the job that they were given, they don't care about you. They don't care about you at all. They care about money. They vibrate at a frequency of money, and this is what this is all about. It's all about getting the people out the way that they feel like hold no weight in society, that is not contributing to society, and things like that. Okay, so when you talk about putting people in a position where they're not getting the help that was initially set there for them in terms of law enforcement, in terms of people squatting on their properties, possibly breaking in their properties, and just trespassing. Okay, which I really do believe that some of these offenses are kind of they're little offenses that shouldn't be over criminalized anyway. But, some of these little offenses can get big and cause bigger issues, especially when you're dealing with people that lack self-control. You see what I'm saying? And when you in an environment where violence is looked at as the way to go. No one is practicing ways to deal with their emotions. No one is teaching them, especially the younger groups, to listen with emotion. They're dealing with what they see on an everyday basis. You understand what I'm saying? They become a product of their environment because they see the older guys riding around and they're selling drugs. They're riding in the nice cars. They're doing things like that. And then, the younger group, they grow up, they see this and they think that that's what life is supposed to be. Added on to the drugs that involve, including liquor, ecstasy pills, so on and so forth, okay, and the music, because we all know there's a demonic frequency when it comes to the music. Even the music is strategically plotted out to feed the jail system, the judicial system. You see what I'm saying? We know that the 808 frequency in the music is a demonic frequency. We've talked about how it unbalanced the chakra and allows these demonic messages being given through the artists that's talking about drill music and trap music, so on and so forth, to attach to the vessel of the youth. You feel me? We need to wake up. We need to start getting this message out here so other people can realize what's going on and what their plans is for Chicago. And not only Chicago, because it only starts in Chicago and Illinois, but it's going to move out to other states as well that's out of hands. I'm talking about Houston. It's going to be in wherever it's a low poverty neighborhood with high violence. All right. So, I just came to y'all because I felt like I wanted to clear this up, because I spoke on this in my lab, but I felt like, it may have went over a lot of people's head. Okay. They're going to use the law to be able to get away with drug-induced homicides and to raise the level of violence up in the community. They want you to do the job that they can't do because they're in a position to where they have to be a snake in terms of getting things done. All right. And so if you feel like this content was, worth sharing, please share it so other people can listen to this message and hopefully it'll wake them up as well. But with that being said, man, I want you guys to always stay aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, family. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation.